right.
Is that?
Okay.
So the whole is just all site.
Well, I can understand the field.
It's very coordinated.
I did 2 of them, so I could hear everybody.
Are you in Richmond?
All set. Good.
Or you actually sitting?
All right, it's 1 o'clock. We'll call a meeting to order and start off with a roll call.
William Beavers.
Here.
Tara George is excused. David Simmons.
Present.
Margaret Wilson.
Here.
Ray Baker is excused. Rebecca Danino.
Here.
John Farquhar.
Here.
Jim McCready.
Here.
Mark Sousa.
Here.
Ron Warner. David Brennan.
Here.
Jill Dunham. Ken Kurt.
Here.
Josh Wells. Carl Turner is excused. Ken Chikoski.
Here.
Thomas Pasquarelli.
Here.
Aaron Robinson. Mickey Schwartz. Okay. Anthony Agresta. He's excused. Okay. Sidney Chase.
Here.
Timothy Foster.
Here.
Victor Jones is excused. Elizabeth McGowan, here, myself. Damon West.
Here.
Dan Bixby.
Here.
Owen Hahn.
Here.
Howard Huth.
Yes, ma'am.
Judith Tiffany is excused. Peter Nichols. And Lou Jones. We have a quorum, sir.
All right, introduction of guests. We have Mr. Kaiser from the state. And Joyce Malidi is here to join us today. Everyone should have received the minutes from September 26th meeting. Anybody have any corrections, additions? And if not, I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Dan and Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence, anybody have any questions that was included in the minutes? If not, move on. Chairman's report. I am going to relinquish my time over to Ms. Joyce Malidi to say a word or two.
Well, first of all, it's great to be back after a couple of years, not being able to come. And I wanted to thank you all for the nomination of Phil for the Commissioner's Award. They presented the award on Saturday in Rochester, and it's heavy. When they handed me this, I almost dropped it because, like, anyway, I'm going to pass this around, but it's the Commissioner's Award for, Commissioner Pelt's Award for Excellence in EMS, and they said it's a very prestigious award because they don't do it every year or anything. But anyway, I'm going to pass this around. You can take a look. Just don't drop it. Maybe I'll keep it right in the box.
No pressure.
There you go. And thank you all for that. And it is really great to be back for a meeting.
Well, it's well deserved, that's for sure. You guys are so
The Ryan Greenberg at the conference on Saturday said this is the 41st year, and the first year was 41 years ago. And I remember the first conference. It was at a motel in Albany. So anyway, it's been a great time working with all of you. Many of you are new. Thanks, Tom.
All right. Secretary's report.
I have nothing.
All right. Treasurer's report.
That I do have. REMSCO savings account opening balance was $4,153.18. with deposits of $13,243.76, which was the quarter 2 and quarter 3 payments for 2022-2023 contract. Expenses for the savings was moving that $13,000 over into the operating account. So our closing balance is the same as the opening balance. Actually, no, it's 20 cents higher because of interest. $4,153.38. REMSCO operating account started with $846.99. Expenses $9,061.70. Deposits $13,243.56 with a balance of $5,028.85. Our CON account started with $10,672.28 with deposits of $13,000 for a balance of $23,672.28.
All right.
We have outstanding vouchers from the state in the total of $20,784.90. That would be Q1 through Q4 of the 23-24 contract, and that I'm expecting to pay any day, but you know how the state goes. That's my report, sir.
All right, we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? If not, all in favor? Tim's not here, you doing regional program update?
Sure, I'll do regional program update. So Tim has a budget meeting today, so he couldn't be here. There's been no update from Department of Health on when the program agency contracts will be executed. Just so you know, we're already 1 quarter into the new contract with no contracts. 16 of the 18 program agency directors, including Remo and REMS, co-signed a letter addressed to the Department of Health Commissioner expressing concern over the late contracts, and there's been no response of when Tim put this report together. December REMAC meeting will be changed to December 11th to accommodate for the state CMAC and REMSCO meetings. New start time is 2:30 on that, and that will be via Zoom or in person at Remo. Remo has a CLI course that starts on November 14th at Hudson Valley Community College. Registration is open, but enrollment is low. Only 5 have registered so far, and if enrollment does not increase, the course is in jeopardy of being canceled. If you have any folks that want to become lab instructors, now might be the time. We have 2 disciplinary actions. Tyler Fending from Lockport, New York, had his certification suspended for 1 year, effective 9/10/24. Suspension stayed pending successful probation, and he was assessed a civil penalty of $2,000. $1,000 stayed for violations of Part 815A1, Part 815A2, Part 816A1, and Part 816A13. Davin Eshelman had their certification suspended for 1 year, effective 9/12/24. Suspension stayed pending successful probation, and they were assessed a civil penalty of $8,000, $6,000 stayed, and medical director reports are required for years ending in 12/24, 12/25, 12/26 for violations of Part 816A13. Credentialed 2 new paramedics in the region since our last meeting. Walrath and Vosburg, both for St. Johnsville. Headwaters EMS is a little complicated. Headwaters EMS was towns of Courtright, Stanford, and Harpersfield. Each town was, when the Headwaters agencies went into the town, they were writing their PCRs under the town's CON number. The towns are going to relinquish their muni CONs now that Headwaters has a CON, and so the Headwaters overarching the 3 towns is going to start writing their own PCRs, and they're using TraumaSoft. We have 2 new pads, Keymark Corporation and Mountain Valley Hospice. That's a report from Tim.
Great. Joyce, training report.
I'm officially a visitor, Tom.
Jim, Howard, training.
CIU, we're doing a CIU
Can we
at,
take the,
you can hear me from there.
Turn the microphone, Dave.
yeah, can you just turn it?
I forgot, sorry. He's very loud. Thank you, Bill. We have a CIU in December at the college. It's limited space, and I want to say we have 20 of the 30 seats already filled. So if you know anybody who needs, please get a hold of us sooner than later. We will start interviewing for the paramedic class, the 25-26 paramedic class, in November. That also is, if you have anybody who's interested, please have them get a hold of me sooner rather than later. The last 2 years, we've had like 80 applicants for only 35 spots. And that's it.
That's the Hudson Valley.
SUNY Cobleskill.
Thank you. Transportation and standards.
You look at me with such a mood when you say that. We'll do Montgomery County first. On September 23rd, 2024, I'm not going through the whole thing. The application was deemed incomplete. It has not been deemed complete yet. So after the CON committee found multiple deficiencies with the application and provided a list, the entire application was returned to Montgomery County for revision via certified, registered, whatever, postal on October 7th, and I've received nothing back from them yet, other than the check for the amount of $5,000 for the CON overall. So he's working on getting everything redone, and we'll resubmit it. Pasico Volunteer Fire Department ambulance transferred to Speculator Volunteer Ambulance Corps. On September 29th, 2024, we received from Pasico Volunteer Fire Department ambulance a transfer of authority CON action. The Pasico Volunteer Fire Department ambulance CON would be transferred to Speculator Volunteer Ambulance Corps. The application was sent to the committee for review on September 2nd, and comment and feedback was received. The applicant was contacted for correction, and the requested items were provided to the committee on September 20th, 2024. The application was deemed to be complete upon a motion from Margaret Wilson, seconded by Sidney Chase. The vote to deem the application complete was unanimous. The application was forwarded to the Bureau for Fitness and Competency on September 30th, 2024, and the vote is scheduled for today. Fitness and Competency was received from the Bureau on October 23rd, 2024. This process having been completed, it is now time for a vote on this matter. I'd like to make the following motion. Resolved that the transfer of operating authority of Pasico Volunteer Fire Department Ambulance to Speculator Volunteer Ambulance Corps is approved. It will be pending review and approval from the New York State Department of Health Bureau of Emergency Medical Services.
Do we have a second?
Thank you, Michael.
Any discussion?
Before we discuss,
Sure.
any conflicts of interest. Any member of this council who has an apparent conflict of interest must declare the nature and extent of his or her interest prior to discussion, and if so directed by the council, abstain from voting. A conflict of interest is a member who has a financial interest in a competing service, and those who serve as an officer in an organization deemed to be in direct competition with the applicant. The acceptance of statements of conflict of interest will be the first item of business in the discussion of this CON. Is there anyone who needs to declare an apparent conflict of interest?
Any discussion?
Somebody say something.
Commend speculator.
What, Dave?
Said I commend speculator for stepping up. They really needed the help out there, it didn't happen.
With that being said, if there's no other discussion, this is going to go to a roll call vote.
A vote for yes means that you support the transfer of operating authority. No means you do not support the transfer of operating authority. William Beavers.
Yes.
David Simmons.
Yes.
Margaret Wilson.
Yes.
Rebecca Danino,
Yes.
John Farquhar,
Yes.
Jim McCready,
Yes.
Mark Sousa,
Yes.
David Brennan,
Yes.
Kenneth Kurt,
Yes.
Kenneth Chakowski,
Yes.
Thomas Pascarelli,
Yes.
Sidney Chase,
Yes.
Timothy Foster.
Yes.
I vote yes. Elizabeth McGowan, Damon West,
Yes.
Dan Bixby,
Yes.
Owen Hahn,
Yeah.
Howard Huth,
Yes.
that's it. Did I miss anyone on council? The motion passes, 18 yes, no noes, and no abstentions. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Speculator, I really appreciate your support. It's been a difficult period over the last year or 2 years because we've had to, you know, under mutual aid, they keep calling us when they couldn't respond. And by the time we get toned out, it's been usually about 10 minutes. So the patient, you know, has been sitting there, and then we get the call, and we finally get to respond. Now, it cuts that 10 minutes out of there, we get the call right away, bang, we're out there. And it's been very helpful.
Thank you guys for stepping up.
I will be submitting this to the state. I just read the TOA on 0606 this morning. The department has to review it and approve it as well before it is issued.
There's been no state council reports since our last meeting. Our next state council meeting is going to be in December, back in Troy. Along with that, I would like to welcome Dr. Afianco. He is our CMAC representative for this region, taking Dr. Markowitz's place. So thank you for stepping up with that.
Thanks for having me.
Want to see anything?
I'm Dave Effianco. Thanks. I wear a few hats that I think are important to note here. Full-time within the Bassett Healthcare Network, so very much involved with our hospitals, but also an EMS fellow at Albany Medical Center where I still work clinically. So kind of helping to be a liaison for all of our important agencies.
Thank you. REMAC report.
REMAC was held on October 2nd as a Zoom meeting combined with REMO. The only things of note are that there is a group coming together to discuss the regional plan for ground ambulance blood transfusion. If you are interested in being part of that group, please let me know. I will add you. There's a meeting on November 20th at noon in person at REMO. Also, there will be discussion working on treatment in place, getting what was the ET3 contracts and stuff back in place so that in the REMO area where they were able to go to alternate destinations, they can still use the urgent cares. There's been, in both regions, there's been one use of antibiotics after a trauma. I am getting a monthly report on that. So, so far there's only been one use. It was a motorcycle accident. Of note, but not changing anything, was that there was a recent cardiac arrest study that talked about pad placement, where the anterior posterior placement may signal improved outcomes. And the question was asked if it was possible to, if there was a field in any of the EPCRs where the crew could document where they placed the pads, and I don't think there are any fields in any of the EPCRs. Another study also signaled the benefit of naloxone in cardiac arrest, And a third study had discussed possible improvements in using IM epinephrine in 5 milligrams of IM epinephrine in cardiac arrest. So those were the things that were discussed, but no changes because it was just studies that were brought up.
County reports, Delaware.
We're starting our EMT classes, so we're gonna have 2 EMT originals.
I'm
and
sorry, can you turn the
refreshers.
mic towards her? She's a little quieter.
I've never been told that.
Whoa.
So,
Make
2
sure that
EMT
gets in the
classes.
transcript.
I know,
Right.
exactly. Originals and refreshers, so we're working towards that, and I think that's all we've got really going on.
Where are they, Maggie?
One's in Downsville and one's in Stanford.
All right, Otsego.
I currently have 2 EMT original refresher combinations running, and Tuesday night, I
Yes.
think it was, we started our AEMT original.
All right. Mr. Harry.
Yeah. Our agency is now one. We finally pulled the trigger. So it's just 6279 as an ambulance service with black cars. Narcotics certificate got put in the mail. It's snail mailing over to the BNE. And we'll be working on the ALS first response dissolving shortly here. Other than that, nothing too exciting.
We don't have anything for Montgomery, so on to Fulton.
We have a core EMT class this Saturday at the Emergency Management Office. And November 16th, there's a AHA BLS instructor course at Perth Firehouse. And we did put a survey out there for a possible EMT class, and we had positive feedback, and we're hoping that one can be scheduled in the near future.
What type of class was that, Mark?
An EMT class.
Hamilton.
Well, we got this class, EMT original class going on right now. We're not quite halfway through it. We got 5 people in it. It's going very well. Carl's trying to get something set up, I think, up in Long Lake or so for after the first of the year, trying to see what kind of, who's wanting to do that class, so they have enough people to have it. Anyway, and speculative volunteer ambulance, our garage is pretty much completed. We're having dedication of our new garage on November 1st, a week from tomorrow, at 10 a.m. in the morning. So, looking forward to that.
As far as I'm concerned, we've had a new supervisor, so she's had me deeply in their budget, trying to make things a little more accurate in regards to our EMS agency. We also are going to be drawing up a contract with the town, explaining basically what services we provide and what expenses they cover on that end of it.
And what agency is that?
Wells volunteering.
Thank you.
Yep, I'm sorry. So we also have 1 student enrolled in the class out of 5 originally posted.
All right. Any old business?
Anything with the website?
It's on my list.
Any new business?
What are we doing with hydration as a region? Are we doing anything as far as, I saw Remo put out an advisory regarding IV fluids. Are we gonna address that?
So there were, after some back and forth after that went out, I guess there's some discussion that they're going to actually come up with, this is how you should do it. And try to give some more guidance. So, that's all I know, is that they're gonna try to make it be a little more, I think there is a document out there from Brigham
Brigham and Women's, yeah.
Women's, and I think that was very hospital-based, so I think the physicians were going to attempt to do some adaptation on that for EMS.
Okay.
Also, John Wilcox mentioned that as a county coordinator up there for EMS, that we just received payment or receiving payment very soon for EMS classes for 23 and 24.
Any other new business?
You may receive an email from Kimberly Krings, who's the administrative assistant at REMO. There is not one good database up there of agencies. And you guys know how organized I am, and it makes me twitchy. So we have put together a Google doc questionnaire survey.
They sent that out.
Okay, you may have.
Yeah,
You should, but it's legit, it's not
Yep.
spam,
No, everything's
it's,
on
me desperately trying to make sure that I have the right people and know what's going on, because literally, I think I counted 12 different databases, Excel spreadsheets when I arrived, and nobody seemed to have a good grasp on what was good information and what was bad information. So please, at the county level, if you can encourage your agencies to fill it out. If you want a report of who already has filled it out for your agency, I'd be happy to sort and cut and paste and give you an idea of who has and who hasn't. But we're really trying to get good data so we can stay in touch with the right people. I know I did a mailing on EMS charts about page 7 having a certain item turned on for leave behind medications, and of all the EMS chart agencies in Remo and Arams, I got 8 bad email addresses that I then followed up with everybody and asked for a new 5136 because you had a new administrator or corrected the incorrect email in the state database. So it's just a matter of going through stuff and getting it accurate.
Any other new business? Our next meeting is going to be November 21st. Here at Holiday Inn, same time. That being said, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Howard? All right. Second? Good, everybody.
All that work, 28 minutes.
Anybody here who had been part of that work group for Lights and Sirens? If you've got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, let's hang around and kind of talk a little. I don't think I'm in charge of it, right?
No one said who was in charge. I was wondering what actually happened.
It's you, I think.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what I said, I think it's
But I just got 2 late registrations. I made 10 copies. But late registrations.
Yeah.
Turned into a.
Probably where it's all goes.
That's how it works.
It's not gonna happen.